You're not the only one who thinks treat yourself means ruining your finances. We were all taught two equally useless scripts, either strict frugality that falls apart on Friday night, or spontaneous buys that bring relief and rent regret. A third way is quieter. You may plan your month such that indulgences are expected, paid for, and really help you relax without hurting your savings or ambitions. This isn't a lifestyle minimalist costume. It's a kind operating system that doesn't sneak in joy at midnight on a card with fees. You'll learn 5 strategies to have fun without feeling guilty while staying on budget. There will be real-life examples, psychology, and a ceremony to kick things off tonight so that this becomes second nature quickly. Start by changing your mind. Treats work when they are intentional, not defensive. When you're tired, don't plan ahead and try to purchase your way out of a feeling. You get defensive goodies. When you plan a treat, you determine what, when, and how much when you're calm. You pay for it like any other bill. One buys a surge in dopamine and a bill. The other person buys a memory and leaves your compounding alone. Even on your most fatigued week, the framework below makes the second version easy. The first approach to feel good about yourself is to set up a joy line, which is a modest, regular amount of money for things you really want to do. You could think of it as compensating your future self for being a grown-up. In your plan, a joy line comes straight after rent and utilities, not before. It's not a reward for being perfect, it's a way to be consistent. Choose a dull and realistic monthly number, then choose your cadence. Some individuals do one anchor joy every month, like going to a matinee and dinner at your favorite little spot. Some people favor 2 small joys, like an inexpensive train ride to see a buddy and coffee in the park. The key is to set a date and pay in advance whenever you can. When you get your paycheck, buy the ticket. Set a reminder on your calendar and tell your friend. Joy doesn't show up as a revolt at 10:42 p.m. anymore when it is planned and paid for, with spike pricing. You will see another change. When the joy line is in the plan, you cease arguing with yourself. There's nothing to defend. You already said yes, and you did it on purpose and with cash. Put rails on the joy line to make it useful, because actions speak louder than words. Put your money into a staging account that doesn't have a card tied to it. This way, your urges and your strategy won't drink from the same glass. In the first week, a bills-only account takes out money for housing, utilities, basic phone service, essential insurance, transportation, and minimum payments. Small drips fill designated pockets for predictable irregulars the day following paycheck. These include tires and servicing, co-pays and prescriptions, gifts, school or kid activities, pet care, travel, and the winter energy increase. Every Friday, a weekly card is loaded with enough money to cover food and other expenses for a week. On payday, your joy line transfer, savings transfer, and, if applicable, your investing drip all go. When you put money into joy and savings at the beginning of the month, the rest of the month gets cheaper. This is not because you are starving yourself, but because you have already met the need that used to take over your budget. The second option is to give yourself time, not things. Time pleasures are inexpensive and good for you. A slow morning without your phone, an afternoon spent finishing a book in a quiet library nook, a solitary matinee, a sauna or swim, or a 3-hour walk with a buddy. The cost is attention. The return is energy. People try to buy energy with deliveries, electronics, or convenience fees because their weekends never really recover them. This is where most budgets go wrong. Plan a weekly time reward and treat it like an appointment. Take your phone charger out of the bedroom so you can have mornings to yourself with water, light, and a 2-minute check to see if your transfers worked. Put a no errands, no screens time in your calendar and notify someone you trust so you don't forget. Time rewards make it less likely that you'll swipe for relief later because you already have it planned. It's excellent to save money. It's best to avoid burnout. When you make the geography of your life smaller, time works best. Most individuals give up proximity for square footage or looks, which is a luxury that gets enough credit. You can save an hour a day if you can rent or live near work, groceries, parks, and friends. You can acquire proximity in hours, even if you can't move this year. Do all of your errands in one trip on Saturday. Instead of going across town for a 50-cent discount, shop where your feet already are. Instead of driving in circles for a short time, get a bike basket and some working legs. A smaller map makes time treats easier because they don't have to compete with logistics. It also lowers the cost of your month without affecting your joy line. Not many treats are as good as leaving the car keys on the hook and walking to see someone you admire. The third way is to get upgrades that save you money every week. When guilt-free treats get rid of a regular cost or make it easier to stick to a healthy habit, they become investments. Ask yourself, will this purchase make next month less expensive and less stressful? If yes, then think of it as a treat with a return on investment. A hand grinder and a bag of beans you love will turn 5 cups of coffee a week into a home habit that tastes better for less than $1. With a good chef's knife and 3 sheet pans, you can create dinners in 10 minutes. This means you won't have to order food after a long day anymore. A good pair of walking shoes, a rain jacket that laughs at the weather, and a bike light that makes journeys at nightfall safe are all treats because they make happiness easy to find and cheap. They are also budget tools because they lower the urgency tax you have to pay when you're tired and not ready. If no one ever saw you use it, would you buy it again today at this price? This is the test that keeps you honest. If the answer is yes, it's probably a tool and not a costume. Put maintenance dates for your tools on your calendar so they keep working for you. Sharpen the knife every 3 months, descale the kettle, wash the water bottle, oil the chain, and rotate the tires before they start to murmur. That maintenance block is a treat in and of itself, an hour of peace and quiet to take care of the things that take care of you. A home that operates like an assistant and a wallet that doesn't leak $25 of apologies are the long-term effects. The fourth option is to get out with friends but plan the hangout. We tend to overspend when we're in groups because we let the loudest person in the room make our plans. You can still be the one to come up with the strategy. You'll probably save everyone money and get thanks for it. Have a potluck with board games where everyone brings a dish or drink to share. Set a library flex time when you all read for 1 hour, gab for 30 minutes, and then go grab cheap coffee. Pack snacks and ask friends to go for a stroll at sunrise or to a free museum day. Suggest split menu dining. Eat appetizers and desserts out, but eat main courses at home. Have a bring the recipe breakfast where everyone learns a cheap 10-minute meal they can make again during the week. These are treats because they make memories without costing you money in the future. They also help people make friends with those who encourage excellent behavior instead of making fun of it. The wealthiest families aren't the ones that have the most costly weekends. They're the ones who can be happy over and over again. Set up a modest hosting pocket that replenishes every day after payday to make social delights smooth. It includes ice, paper goods, tray basics, or a simple centerpiece. Put some reusable trays, a pitcher, an inexpensive tablecloth, a deck of cards, and a few board games in a closet container. Set up 2 standing invitations on your calendar every month so that plans don't depend on inspiration. And develop 2 scripts in your Notes app for when a friend proposes something that doesn't fit with your plans. We're on a low-key kick. Want to join us for a walk and ice cream on Saturday? Can we do a matinee and a picnic? And I'm on a saving sprint. Scripts are like emotional seatbelts. They let you say yes to people and no to bills without feeling bad. The 5th technique is to make treats into goals. When treats seem arbitrary and undeserved, guilt sets in. Milestone sweets turn self-indulgence into joy. Choose actions you want to reinforce and provide incentives for doing them, not for wanting to do them. You get the treat you planned when you hit a streak, such as 4 weeks of donations on time, a quarter without a late fee, 10 workouts, finishing a class, or shipping a project. The most important things are balance and clarity. A good milestone treat is big enough to make you feel special, but small enough to do again. Some examples are a day trip by train, a fancy dessert date, tickets to a local show, a haircut at the place that makes you feel unstoppable, a new library hold for a book you've wanted, or a night of takeout from your favorite restaurant. Your brain starts to connect the behavior with pleasure, since the treat is linked to proof. That's not a hack, that's how habits work. Milestones are especially helpful for couples and families. A joint adventure can be the prize for a family win. For example, you could promise a month of on-time trains, 5 shared home-cooked dinners a week, or a decluttering sprint that develops into a yard sale. The treat doesn't have to cost a lot. A picnic under trees you enjoy, a trek you've never done before, a movie night with blankets and popcorn, a DIY Sunday bar, or a day at a free museum with sketchbooks are all things that will make you want to do them again. When treats become how we celebrate the way we live, guilt goes away. Joyline treats, time treats, ROI enhancements, social design, and milestone rewards all function because they are visible and front-loaded. You choose when you're calm, you fund them at the top, and you make them easy to do again. But even the best strategy falls apart if you don't have a weekly schedule that keeps you honest and nice to yourself. A 5-minute Friday scoreboard can keep this all together. A seat, a glass of water, and 5 lines in a notes app. How deep is the sleep fund? What % of your savings have you made this year? How much debt have you paid off since last month? How much have you invested since January 1st? And how many late fines have you avoided this quarter? If any of them are 0, write 0. The aim is to keep the beat. Then check your rails. Did the bills get paid? Did the pockets get filled? Did the weekly card refill? Did the savings and investing land? And did the Joyline cash come in? If something goes wrong, make an appointment to fix it on Monday. Put the note away and enjoy your planned pleasure. When you assess progress the same way you measure setbacks, quietly and consistently, budget guilt goes away. Let's go into a couple rooms so these concepts can become actual. A nurse in her late 30s used to buy Rebellious on Friday nights. Delivery said sorry for having to work rotational shifts for a week. She got packages since she was too exhausted to cook, and her social life was on her phone. She set up rails for her money. Income to staging with no card, week 1 bills, day after payday pockets, Friday weekly card, payday saves and investing drips, and the remainder went to Joyline. She established a 1-sentence policy for investing and started with a small amount. Then she planned 2 treats, a Sunday treat that included an hour at the local sauna followed by a trip to the library, and a monthly Joyline anchor, which was a matinee at the inexpensive theater with a friend. She got a hand grinder and some beans, learned how to cook a breakfast she enjoyed in 5 minutes, and put 2 10-minute dinners on a whiteboard on her freezer. 3 months later, her sleep fund was alive, late fees looked like fossils, and the splurges she used to chase were pointless because the planned enjoyment was better and cheaper. She didn't join a monastery. She became a lady whose week honored its promises. A teacher with 2 kids had a hard time with all the birthday parties, sports weekends, and affordable entertainment that wasn't. He and his partner created a Joyline for their home and moved closer to it, to a smaller rental that was closer to school, groceries, and friends. They made a hosting kit and began asking people over for soup and games twice a month. They picked 2 big treats for the whole family, a train ride to celebrate 3 months of on-time rails and a night of making ice cream to celebrate 5 dinners in a row. They bought cheap museum passes ahead of time using the Joyline. The kids liked the routines, and the grown-ups liked the peace and quiet. The car payment went away, the delivery evenings went down, and the Joyline felt like a gift instead of a way to get about. A designer who worked for himself rode the waves of feast and famine. There were waves of splurges, new gear on launch day, fancy coffees during edits, and impulse memberships that promised to make you more productive. She became her own payroll.
Bills go to stage, taxes go to her account when they come in, a bills-only account fills up, a savings drip runs, the same Safe Friday number hits her weekly card, and a Joy line pays her 2 planned delights a month. She set up a tiny tuition payment every 3 months for a tool she really wanted to try out, and wrote out a reward she would give herself after doing 3 tasks on schedule and getting paid in full. She took her phone charger out of the bedroom and planned a Sunday treat, a lengthy bath and a book on the terrace. 6 months later, her income hadn't doubled, but her stress level had dropped by half. The treat money went to things she remembered instead of bills she wished she hadn't paid.
You might be thinking, this sounds nice, but I don't have a lot of money. That's why you treat yourself on purpose. When money is tight, impulse buys are the most expensive because they come with fees, shipping, and lifestyle auditions that you can't do again. The Joy line keeps you from going down that spiral by giving you little recurring joy. Begin with a little number. 5, 10, or 20 units of your currency per pay cycle can pay for a matinee, a walk with coffee, a bus to see a friend, a library fine, or a book you want to read again. The point isn't size. It's your neurological system's way of saying, we're not punishing you. We are in a scheme. The psychology behind all of this is simple. Your brain follows rules. If buying things is hard and fun things happen on time, you will automatically choose cheaper things most of the time without feeling like you're missing out. Take shopping and delivery applications off of your home screen. Turn off push notifications that aren't from people. Take your stored cards off of sites that lure you to buy things so that you have to get up to fetch your wallet if you want to make an accidental purchase. Keep your planned joys simple. Get tickets, set your schedule, and have the ingredients for a no-cook treat at home in case the day gets too hard. When you're already happy and buying things on impulse is a little unpleasant, your month grows calm. Savings and happiness develop when things are quiet. There is a short chapter about work here, because a budget gets easier to follow when the week is busy. Once a week, send 1 useful evidence to work and keep track of the number that indicates it mattered. Minutes saved, mistakes avoided, dollars added, and refunds reduced. Send a calm note on Monday that ends the conversation. Make a list of receipts, outcomes that you keep adding to. When it's time for reviews, you won't be begging for recognition. You'll be negotiating a share on worth. Raises, joy lines, and sleep funds while cutting out on groceries. When your receipts got louder than your hours, it was simpler to enjoy goodies without feeling bad about it. If you share a home with a partner or roommates, split the rails and the scoreboards. Set aside a small, no-questions sum for each adult. Put joy on the schedule together first, so the month doesn't feel like a series of minor fights. When both parties realize there's a plan for enjoyment and a plan for growth that doesn't need to be made up every week, you'll be astonished how quickly money disputes go away. One more piece of advice. Choose a quiet period during which you won't upgrade anything for 90 days unless it's a repair. During the quiet time, you have to use what you already have and figure out which upgrades would really make your life better instead of just trying them out. Now for a 15-minute ceremony that starts now and ends budget guilt before the weekend. Change the names of 2 accounts in your banking app: Staging, Rails, and Sleep Fund. Open or change the purpose of a bills-only account. Set up 4 automatic transfers: week 1 drafts for necessities, day after payday drips for tires and service, co-pays and medications, gifts, school or kid activities, pet care, travel, and winter energy. A Friday morning refill for your weekly card, and a payday savings transfer that goes into the sleep fund. If you put money into a fund, make a tiny automatic donation to a broad, low-cost fund on the same day. Set up a Joy line transfer to arrive on the day you get paid, and if you can, buy the anchor treat for the next month ahead of time. Put a whiteboard on your freezer and write down 2 dinners that you will really make in 10 minutes. Take your phone charger out of the bedroom so that mornings are just for water, light, and a quick look at your rails. Make a note called Scoreboard and write down the 5 lines you'll update on Friday. Send a text to a friend to make plans for your first social event. Then stop. Let the plan go for 4 Fridays and pay attention to the silence. You won't have a viral metamorphosis in 6 weeks. You'll get something better, a week that keeps its promises and delights that fit like your favorite jacket.
Your sleep fund will feel like a blanket instead of a wish. Your joy line will buy memories instead of reasons. Delivery will no longer be a reflex, but a choice. Your calendar will feature time delights that make Tuesday easier and Saturday less expensive. You won't have to say sorry for having fun anymore, since fun will be built into the design. That's what guilt-free really means. Not that you never give in, but that giving in stopped trying to play a part in your finances that it wasn't supposed to play. One last thing to say. You don't have to change who you are to indulge yourself without going over budget. You need to change your defaults. Pay for delight like a bill. Give up things for time. Tools that make next month cheaper should be improved. Make the hang so that memories don't cost you. Give yourself sweets to celebrate accomplishments that help you become who you want to be. Do it wrong. Don't ever miss twice. Let boredom turn into more boredom, and more boredom turn into choices. The sweets will taste better too. They'll help you get the life you wanted in the first place.